lately.
That's life.
Well, I want to see how this goes, and if it's something, we're kind of struggling with how to best support the new neighborhoods who want to get organized. And we're somewhat resource strapped, and a lot of our work has been spent trying to fix government obstacles.
Yeah, and that's kind of been one of our big things too. And so part of what I've been doing over the last few months is trying to figure out how to hand over the chair of the committee. I mean, this is a committee under the board of a nonprofit corporation, so it's like there should be some transition function, some way to do this, so that I don't just leave one day and someone else comes in. It's like, oh my God, what do I do? So I've been writing down, all the job descriptions of what people do, and I realize that there's too much. There's too much for even one full-time person, full-time, to do effectively. For something like emergency preparedness, there's just, I mean, you gotta do messaging. You gotta put out a message consistently. That is a skill, a marketing skill, and I don't really have it. So I always got to go and find it and then get someone to do it monthly. And so I put together a list of these different job hats and put that. I think I sent that around to you at one point, didn't I?
I don't remember that, but I know you've been very helpful to us, which we appreciate. Maybe you did, and it just wasn't needed at the time.
Well, I put a lot of noise out there on the line, so it's hard to say exactly when that was. But we're transitioning now. I've been trying to find and have so far found 2 of the 3 people that we hope to chair and co-chair the committee. We have we're still looking for someone, by the way, from the Portola Valley. Patty, Jennifer.
What committee are you talking about?
WPV-Ready. The entire emergency preparedness for the district. And we have someone, John Middleman, who's from Woodside. We have Leisha Maines, who is from the unincorporated areas. But according to the charter that we wrote, the intention is to have a chair and 2 co-chairs who basically share the load. There needs to be someone who is kind of sitting in the main seat, that you call on to give reports and so on and so forth. But really, just as far as kind of building projects and teams and getting people together to work on things, I think a team is a better approach than waiting for me to try and get it.
Do you have, you said you were writing job descriptions. Do you have a description of what the committee responsibility would be?
Yeah, we have a charter, and that went out a while ago. I should probably put that out again. But if you look at the WPV-Ready discussion thread, there is a, let me see if I can find it right here.
Jennifer, why are you smirking? That's not allowed. That's not allowed.
I'm wondering if I should do an intervention and drive to your house.
No, don't you have snow? You probably can't get out of your driveway.
I have no snow.
You have no snow?
No snow on the ranch. We were deeply disappointed.
Oh gosh, that's too bad.
You must have it across the street at Windy Hill, though.
Yes, beautiful pictures of snow at Windy Hill.
I know, I've seen them. Did you see that one where that guy was snowboarding down the trail?
No.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
It was an article in the, I think it was the San Francisco Chronicle. Somebody put the link out on the PB forum. A kid was snowboarding
Oh, wow.
down the trail just behind the sequoias.
Holy-
Wow. I
holy-
don't know why we didn't have it. We had ice. We had hail today. We had hail.
Really?
Yeah, we had hail.
Oh, yeah, we didn't have hail. We had a lot of
I-
rain, but we didn't get hail.
I haven't seen snow since 2000. And I
You
know,
mean at your place? I mean, it's been up on Windy Hill, but
yeah, at my place, I haven't seen it. Yeah.
2000, that would be about the time, I think that's the last time we had it. It was just right after we moved in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
What are you driving to my house to intervene with?
Maybe liquor and a t-shirt that says I can't do anymore.
Hold on, I gotta ask.
My husband would like that intervention. Yes, my
My
husband would
husband
very
and
much
your
like that
husband
intervention.
Get together because my
I
husband
know.
is very effective.
Well, the ADU survey is done. I'm looking for something else to do.
I have things for you to do. Join
I'm
the
sure you do.
Wildfire
Well, that's why I'm
Awareness
here,
Committee. Well,
I thought we were gonna-
have things to do, Patty, but
I
but
thought we were gonna get some stuff done.
we are going to get some stuff done.
We are
gonna
getting
get
stuff
some-
done.
We have big plans.
Ah, geez. The fire board, by the way, tomorrow is considering these new ordinances. So if you have a chance to get in on that, that would be worth attending. But
New ordinances, you mean the new fire code?
yeah. So basically designating certain areas as WUI, wildland urban interface, so that the building code would be more strict in some places where it's not as strict as it could be right now.
So
And
those are the fire maps that are coming out? Or is this the fire code?
this is just the code. The maps, the preliminary maps are out already, but they're still kind of being worked on. They're not final publication, but they're referred to in these ordinances because they're doing, I think they said a 5 meter by 5 meters. So you figure about 15 feet by 15 feet
Yeah.
resolution study of what's the topography, what's the slope, what's growing in that area, and
Yeah.
all through the district. So it's a much higher resolution than what CAL FIRE has done in the past, which is now like, I think, 16 years old.
Well, it's probably closer to the Moritz map specifications than it is to CAL FIRE.
I sent you the board packet. Read especially ordinance 2203. The 2202 is about the Moritz map and merging those.
It's the Moritz map. It's not the other one they're working on yet. It's the Moritz map.
No, well, 2202 basically proposes merging the Moritz map with the 2007 map temporarily until we get flame mappers and the new CAL FIRE. But from my understanding, that wouldn't really change anything except your fire code designation, which right now doesn't mean much unless you're building. But we don't know what CAL FIRE will do later on this year.
Right.
But the big ordinance you should read is 2203. And that's going to, I think that's, I'm have to read it again, but that's going to have zone 0. That's going to have a lot more defensible space. And it's good. We need that.
Yeah, and it requires like 100-foot fire breaks instead of 50-foot fire breaks and so forth. And the big thing that the fire marshal and the department are worried about is that mid-pen wild space people are pushing back because they're saying we don't have the resources to do this, and the response from the fire department is basically that's not really a good excuse.
But there's some legitimate conservation concerns too.
Oh, absolutely, and those are addressed. The fire marshal Don Bullard has addressed those and made adjustments for that. And
The packet's got some really good comments. And
So, so before tomorrow night, you want me to read another 118 page
No,
thing?
you don't
And
have
you're
to do
already
it.
telling me I have too much to do.
Patty, I'm doing it for you. That's why I'm attending the meeting. Okay, I'm doing it for you. You can only
Give me the cliff notes. Does it have does it have 30 foot structure separation?
I don't think that's in there, but because, yeah, that's gonna be a tough one to get in there, but
No.
you're, you know, wait until it passes and then we'll know.
Okay.
I don't
I'm
think
not
one of
gonna
us has
worry about it.
anything to say. I don't think either one of us has anything.
No, I have nothing constructive to add, but
Well, I mean, they're not gonna listen to us even if we did, so.
no. I mean, I wouldn't mind being a fly on the wall, but I got other things to do. Okay. All right, so the only reason, Chip, I was asking you about that, and the reason Jennifer was smirking, is that, you know, I want to be involved in WPV-Ready. And to the extent that I'm already involved, if there's something that I can do that I'm already doing on behalf of Portola Valley, then I'd be willing to do it. But I just want to kind of understand more what the expectations are there.
well, really, I think the biggest part of the job needs to be finding people to lead project teams, go out and get things done, because it can't take me and Selena organizing every project that's undertaken.
But like, what type of projects are you talking about?
Well, for instance, last year we did a project with the Young Men's Service League to have
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, I know that one.
so that if Selena hadn't led through that whole thing, it wouldn't have happened. And if she doesn't lead through the whole thing next time, it's not going to happen.
Well, but Chip, my committee is, you know, we're trying to get another R4W sprint program going. That's what I'm hoping for once we get Westridge up and running, to try to help us get in there and offer tools like, you know, we've identified contractors who will offer discounts. We've identified, you know, get the fire district in, make the inspections, present contractors who can offer a discount, who can do the work in mass, you know, offer, you know, educational tools. A matter of fact, Ember Defense just came out today. They have a whole new online store coming on with do-it-yourself videos for vent installation, and these are the kind of tools we're working on too. So my committee can partner with WPV-Ready, and I think we already are, and you know, tell us how we can help you, and we want to go into neighborhoods in Portola Valley. The trick is getting those 6 to 20 homeowners paying attention, saying, okay, we'll come listen to your contractors. We want to do this, which is why a Firewise committee like Patty's is vital, because Patty will have those email addresses of those residents. She's going to send out an email and say, hey, I need 20 homes that are grouped together, and I can get you discounts, and I can get you an inspection, and I can get you some interviews with landscapers, and let's get this done. And they're going to listen to her. So, and then I want to set up a repetitive project where
Damn right they're going to listen to me.
Yeah, and I mean, and the key is, because when Jennifer Euster did this, everything was new. You have to rewrite the emails. You have to do all this legwork. You get it down to a repetitive thing where you send out the same emails, you have the same schedules, the same contractors come in, and we know in advance what these contractors need. You set expectations, and then you build on that. So slowly we add more than just ember, you know, resistant vents. Maybe next time we bring in a roofer for those homes that, I don't know. And I'm working on the grant side of it, trying to get the town to do something with grants.
Well, and I think that's what's going to bring more volunteers into the fold. I mean, when you talk about the project like Vic Schachter is leading, which is how do we get more, neighbor leaders or group block captains. People are saying, well, give me the blueprint, so to speak, because I don't want to reinvent the wheel. Tell me what there is to do. And today, we've got a lot of great things to share, but we really don't have that blueprint, so to speak, to someone. We can hand somebody and say, here you go. Here's what you do.
I'd like my committee to quarterly be able to hand you a set of emails. Okay, Patty, this is what you can send out. This is what, in other words, a compilation of MJ's tips for dummies. So, one page, because people are going to read more than one page. They're overwhelmed. And this is what I'm hearing. I've been calling everyone on the block captains list in Portola Valley. And about half respond and half don't, but they're overwhelmed. They were overwhelmed with the pandemic. A lot of these people aren't current, everyone's busy, everybody's working, both members of the family are working, and it's a tough time to get volunteers. So when we get them, we have to have it boiled down very simply.
Yeah, I agree.
Good.
And I think now's a good time. It's one of the reasons, not one of the reasons, but I think now is a good time to kind of kick off the Westridge Firewise, because, people are starting to come out of the pandemic. We're getting a lot of rain, which is good. Hopefully people don't forget about wildfire with this rain, but, I was meeting with our board of our committee the other night, and we're talking about Firewise, and they're very supportive. We're going to go ahead with it. One of the things that they thought about is, let's just walk around Westridge and identify 2 or 3 areas that just, if you clean those out, it would make such a difference and people would see it. It would be visible. And they would say, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. So I think that's another thing that we're going to look at, is not only the individual homeowner, but we've got like 2 or 3 houses in a row that are overgrown and they need, cutting and clearing and brush and, I'm sure a whole lot of things. And they're right on Westridge. So people would say, wow, what a difference. So anyway.
Well,
I'm preaching to the choir here. So
well, when we talk, I can give you some very specific reasons why it's a really good time for you to start this, and that you're going to be very popular.
oh no, I'm not popular.
You will be.
Well, I'll just blame it on Jennifer.
Oh, I have.
Have you seen this?
Yeah.
So our organizing and the guide to organizing ready communities. So this is what we're trying to continue to evolve. Now, keep in mind, I'm not just the chair of the nonprofits WPV-Ready committee. I'm also the chair of the Woodside Emergency Preparedness Committee. So, this is something that we're trying to solve district-wide, but then also with the PV focus and the Woodside focus, what needs to happen special in those places, but all under a common framework, because the WPV-Ready program is backed by both towns and funded by both towns and the fire department. So, we have resources there, and the CERT program acts throughout the district. So the resources for managing emergencies both before and during are available district-wide, and that's why I'm hoping to find someone like one of you guys to work as a co-chair on the WPV-Ready team and bring Portola Valley specific concerns, right, to the entire district, so that so that you're pulling from the whole resource pool too, and all the volunteers. And when it comes down to building Firewise communities, I don't care which town they happen to be in, or You know, if they're in the unincorporated areas, anybody who's willing to make their property less flammable is a hero in my eyes. So, you know, the goal here is to do exactly what you're talking about, and to do it district-wide. We're planning on asking for more funding going forward, and part of the plan is to open the store again and start selling those first aid kits, which we can make a little money on. But if you do it at a larger volume and advertise it a little bit, we could make some significant money and then do more outreach and so forth. One of the things we're also looking at doing right now is as far as just reaching out to people, getting communities organized and getting the messages out where people will see it. That's the biggest problem, is getting people's eyes to connect to the message, I think. So we're looking at trying to get some electronic displays, like at Woodside Town Hall. I don't know if anybody's spoken with the Portola Valley people yet. I know Jeremy has announced that he's not going to be the guy to talk to about that much longer, but whoever that is, you know, it'd be great if we could, like at Roberts, have a little electronic display that you know, is showing maybe the town announcements and how do you connect with Firewise, and then did you know you need to have a fire extinguisher in the kitchen, did you, etc. And then maybe today's special at Roberts or something, and just kind of rotate through this stuff. These systems are pretty inexpensive these days. So anyhow, we're looking at all these possibilities. And you know, that's kind of what the WPV-Ready committee's purpose is for the immediate future, and until we have much more solid coverage, is finding community leaders and holding their hands, doing whatever we need to support them and get their community connected, get people talking about it, get them confident in discussing it, and working out ways to, like, hey, you know, you should have a potluck once or twice a year, or a barbecue, or a cocktails, or whatever the heck works in your neighborhood. Do a neighborhood bar pub crawl, where everybody cousin has a different cocktail at everybody's house, whatever works. But talk about fire extinguishers, and let's put together a big buy and get a deal on it. That'd be a great thing if we could get people to socialize and become safer at the same time. So anyhow, we want to try, and the goal is over the next years to have 100% of the entire district in a community, and whether they start with emergency preparedness or Firewise, doesn't matter. Once they're connected together and talking about this stuff, it's all interrelated. You can't join the Firewise program and not sit down and start wondering about all the other things around the house. It's like, oh, if I do get burned, do I have a first aid kit? Do I have smoke alarms? Do I have, you know, there's no way to separate these things. And wildfire really is, as we've seen, is really only one of the problems that hits us. I mean, as soon as it stops freezing and the hillside sliding down, it's just going to go back to burning. So, but in the meanwhile, we have severe storms to deal with. Could you imagine if there was an earthquake now? Oh my gosh. So yeah, Patty, why don't I send you over just kind of like the charter of the committee, and just so you kind of see what goes on. I mean, they meet once a month and then try to get project work done in between and so forth. But there's the biggest contribution you could make is just in organizing people and finding people. That's our biggest crying need is in finding volunteers right now.
Yeah, I get it. And, you know, I'm to an extent, I'm already doing that because I'm doing Westridge and, you know, that's probably going to take a lot of my time over the next year,
Yeah.
just getting the Westridge Firewise, you know, going, which I want to start doing. Jennifer and I were going to start tonight.
Cool.
So it's just a little bit concerned that, you know, if I'm focusing on that, it feeds into this, but this is obviously bigger. So, but yeah, send it over to me and I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, I'll send you some of the materials, just to give you an idea what the terrain looks like. And
Okay.
there's not a lot there except under the hood stuff, but you know, everything that's on the WPV-Ready site is
Yeah, and I think, you know, Jennifer's committee is doing a lot of this. I mean, you know, maybe it's just a question of having a point person who's able to funnel what we're already doing into some of this. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I tell you, I talked to a lot of people about their building up their Firewise communities and so forth. And when you register for the Firewise stuff so that you can use the Firewise assessments and so forth, you're actually registering on the WPV-Ready site, and it's giving you access to all this other stuff. It kind of funnels together. The tools all funnel, everything funnels together. Everything seems to end you up at the same place.
So I don't want to be rude. I am actually missing a family dinner, which is absolutely fine because I thought that we were going to discuss the Westridge application. And I think this is such an important topic, and I will be happy to let you guys have at it. But are we going to discuss the actual Westridge application?
Let's do it. Let's do it. No, this is your meeting.
I don't want to be rude. but
No, then I'm absolutely.
Monday night is our family dinner night. So, but some things are more important, like Westridge Firewise. That's more important.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I have friends on Westridge.
So where are you at, and what do you want to do next? Have you registered in the portal? Registered your site or any of that yet, Patty?
Well, I was just pulling up what I have. Okay, let me share, maybe you want me to share what I have here?
Okay.
Okay, can everybody see that?
Mm-hmm,
Yes.
mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is what I've done. I mean, I've registered, and obviously I have an account. So is this, and I don't even know, I guess this just calculates over here based on what I've already put in, right?
That's on the number of homes that you've entered times 2854.
Okay.
So have you gotten doesn't she actually, you need a report from Dawn about how much you've paid for chipper service?
It's chipper service from Dawn. It's any kind of tree clearing. It's any kind of brush removal. Most of like when they haul yard waste away, that's considered removing flammable material. All of those things combine. And so, yeah, you know.
So how do we physically enter that, Chip? I mean, is there a place you click on to upload the receipts?
Well, can I just go to continue application? Because I think it's part of the application, isn't it?
It is,
Okay.
but you're not going to be able to get that far. And I'll tell you why, but let's go ahead and start filling it out. But let me also say that, no, there's no place where you're ever required to upload receipts. I just make sure that I have a receipt for every number that I report. And they just have a place where they say, oh, enter your fuel reduction. You know, what have you spent on that?
So,
said
Don can tell us how much per home they pay for chipper service. You could do it the hard way and actually go and count compost cans and do kind of an estimation of how many compost cans and how much they cost you. Or if
No.
you don't know who removed a tree, I could maybe find out who submitted permits, and we could ask them how much those tree removals cost. You only need probably 5 or 6.
You only need 2.
Well, she's got 200 homes.
I know. 2 tree removals covers your requirement.
So we're
lot-
just going to enter this in the application, Chip. They're just going to say, and then you just like say this for chipper service and this, and then you're done.
And I've got a folder where I make people send me their receipts, but like someone will send me a receipt. Here was $4,000 for tearing out junipers and cutting down a pine tree. Here's one for $12,000 for removing 2 large acacia trees. And boom, I'm done.
Do you know how much the chipper service is per month? Off the top.
I didn't even ask Don this year, but he can give you a number.
Ginger Creevy, I don't know if it's this year or last year, but she did $10,000 worth of tree work on Westridge. Is she part of your Westridge group?
Who?
Ginger Creevy?
No.
She's right across. She's on
That's
West. Is it the whole Westridge street?
No, it isn't.
So she's between Cervantes and Alpine, not Cervantes and Portola Road.
No, that's not Westridge.
I mean, so that's not part of your Westridge street. In other words, she's on Westridge.
Yeah, but that's not part of the Westridge HOA. She's not part of the,
Okay. I didn't know that. I was always part of the HOA. Where does it end? Where does Westridge end?
so it goes from Alpine
Yeah.
all the way to, on the south, all the way to Golden Hills, and on the north, all the way to Cervantes.
The first Cervantes.
The
Second.
bottom of Cervantes.
Okay, she may be in there. So, and I can also email around and I can ask Rita, or you can ask Rita. I mean, we can find a couple of people that remove trees. That part I'm not worried about.
Oh, I'm not worried about the expenses at all.
Okay.
I'm just more worried about getting kind of organized and getting the assessment done.
Yeah.
And things like that. So
most of this stuff here is entirely, it's either going to be a trivial thing for you to jot down, or it's going to be something that Don Bullard puts in for you, right? Like
so this is the assessment.
Right.
Chip, I thought Don wrote a description of the neighborhood and did that assessment essentially.
That is part of this assessment. So that's the wildfire risk assessment.
That's just what this is.
Right. And this has.
So are you saying that
So scroll down and let me just hit real quick on the points here that they bring up. Are you scrolling? I don't have a scroll.
I'm scrolling. Where do you want me to
I don't
scroll?
see any scroll.
I am not seeing any scroll here, unfortunately. So
Where do you want to scroll?
go down to the next page. And keep going. Keep going till we get to something they want. There you go. So your assessment participants, that's going to be something that when Don comes out with his people, who was in the group that went around with him, it's going to be a couple people from the fire department. It's going to be you and maybe a couple of other people from your group. That's all that goes in there. General site description, your site name, city, county, state. And the
Right, you sent me a map, so I've got that.
Right.
Okay, so they scheduled this with Dawn.
Now let's take a look through this before we we jump out. So keep scrolling down. This stuff you pretty much know. It's single family, it's private, it's greater than an acre, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. When you start getting into history of wildfire and severe wind exposure, Don's your guy for that. Keep going on down. Observations. Now, this stuff, the home ignition zone, roofing materials, these questions are all exactly what's on the Firewise assessment on the WPV-Ready site. Okay, so you've seen that? Have you been, has anybody been doing those? Or are you aware of that?
Well,
Sounds familiar.
I mean, I went through the video of how to assess the neighborhood. So you do want her committee to walk her neighborhood and assess these 200 homes. And count.
You need to be able to come up with a number there. And if you can get individuals to assess themselves, that's great. If you need to go around and just thumbnail it for the first year, that's great too. But you need to have some kind of a reasonable estimate of what range you're in on these things. Now, in the WPV-Ready, if you go to that, let's just open another tab if you don't mind, and let's just take a look at the WPV-Ready site. Now sign in as you. Beautiful. So now you are not logged in. It doesn't look like to me. Oh, there we go. My profile. Under my profile, Firewise assessment. That's the one.
Oh, that's right. This is where each one of them has to, yeah.
And
So-
you're a community leader, so you can look at any one of them and assess it here. But individuals can do their own property.
So this is mine, so I would say, okay, I can assess this address.
Okay. And each one of these then is one of the questions that appears on that area assessment. And if you had 100% of the people filling this out accurately, you'd know exactly what your percentage was for everything.
They can't go on here and fill it out themselves, can they?
Sure.
Yes, they can.
Hmm.
But how do I know? I mean, I would have no idea if I have all this stuff.
That is something we encourage people to find out.
Yeah, I don't even know what fire resistant skirting is.
If you click on the blue eye, it'll tell you more about it. Right? So if you have a deck and it's enclosed underneath, that enclosing material is called skirting. You have an empty space underneath the structure. And you find it around trailers, for instance, in trailer parks. This is a really big problem. Not so much
For my house would be listed like does not apply
right.
because I'm a single family home. Okay, all right. So yes, okay. So now it's all starting to come back to. So we send out the letter we put together.
Mm-hmm.
It encourages people to go on the site, register, encourages them to do their own self-assessment. You know, we hope to get 100%. We'd probably be lucky to get, 10%.
Oh, yeah.
We take what we get here, then Don Bullard and I, and maybe a couple other people, maybe either walk around, drive around since it's a big area. And he helps to put together an overall assessment that may use this information, but then may also fill in what he knows about the area.
Exactly. And now if you scroll up to the very top here as well, I want you to notice that there is a PDF download, right? Where you can get the same questions on a printable PDF and just go around and fill this in by hand. And so you could just go and spot check, a dozen places and pick them at random. And
So what score how many homes out of her 200 does she need before they'll take the application?
none. You can just go around and thumbnail this yourself. You can go around and say, you know, I've got clearly not fire resistant roofing on at least 20%. So,
Or do you have all the emails of all 200 homeowners?
I have them through my block captains. So I have 12 block captains that then have their own residents. So it's a tree type of thing. So when I send something out, I send it to the block captains. They're responsible for sending it to their next level.
I can think of some pressure ways to get people to fill this out that would be pretty straightforward if you're willing to say, okay, this is the list of people who have not filled it out. And therefore, none of us are going to get our discount on insurance because, you know, come April, they have to give you, or pretty close to it, they have to give you a discount for Firewise.
however, you would be telling a fib, because you don't have to fill this out. Everybody doesn't have to fill this out. As I said, you can go around and just give it your best educated guesstimate as the leader of the community. Put eyes on it and say, wow, I'm good on this, I'm bad on this. Give it.
And do
So
all.
what you're saying is we could do that, and Jennifer could still go to these contractors and say, I have a Firewise community, and we're going to offer them 10%. And anybody could step up whether they fill this out or not.
My contractors don't need you to be Firewise. The insurance companies are going to give you the discount because you're Firewise.
No, that's true.
My
That's true.
contractors I will come into your neighborhood whether you're Firewise or not.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
And
that's
Don
true.
Hollard's going to make sure that you're realistic. If he looks around and half of the roofs are wood shake, you know, he's going to check you any BS on the form. So he's right.
How many people are in your committee, Patty, that really would maybe spend a Saturday to do this?
I believe my block captains are very subscribed, so to speak. So I think I've got a dozen people.
I mean, they could even email everybody and say, okay, here's what I need you to send me. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And then you fill it in. I'll help you do data input. That I can.
Well, yeah,
help you do.
because I'm the admin, I can fill it in for anybody. I could go back to the previous schedule and I could say, you know, I'm not 197, but I know that whatever it was up here.
We can figure out how to get these people to fill in most of this.
See, this gives me every street address of the 236 homes.
Yeah.
So I could go in and I could say, okay, 150 Lysandra, I'm going to do a drive-by and I'm going to assess that address, right? I can do that, right, Chip?
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Have your block captains go out for a walk in the, you know, around dinner time and see who's on the street and say, hey, can you give me just 5 minutes and we're going to fill this form out. And then they
yeah.
come back to you, you know, and you punch them in.
So with that fire skirt, if you have a raised deck and you put ember resistant mesh around that, is that a fire skirt? Or does it have to be, I mean, it is ember resistant mesh. Is that considered a fire skirt?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. What a lot of people will do in skirting is it'll be just cosmetic, and they'll put like a 1 inch by ½ inch thick, just, you know, they'll put slats around it just so you're not looking at the ugly underneath of the place. And that's entirely flammable and dangerous, and it's not considered good skirting. But yeah, a resistant mesh, especially if it's all the way to the ground and you know, there's no ways to sneak embers in.
Probably cost me $500 to get somebody to do it. It was so simple.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. So, I mean, I've got little issues around my place still that I got to really worry about in my zone 0. I've got the outside of my house is wood planking. It's not bare wood, it's not highly flammable, etc., but it goes right down to the ground. I've got nothing non-combustible clearance. So I gotta do something about that.
You got that Scooby-Doo van you gotta worry about.
I'm selling that, by the way, if you know
That's
anybody.
gotta be flammable like crazy.
It's parked up by the tree, by the pine trees, so they can all go together. Woo!
So what's this 3-year action plan then? Is
So
this,
don't even worry about downloading that, because you're going to get California's required. So you're going to need to click on, I have reviewed my state's requirements. Because California has their own required template, but it is terrible. You can't edit the thing. It gets the numbering all wrong. The formatting just sucks. So just download mine from the WPV-Ready site. And
did I click continue here?
yes,
He's got a really good document on his site that I downloaded for Woodside Hills Firewise action plan.
yeah,
Is that the updated template?
yeah.
Yeah,
And I just did,
So I would upload something here, but I would change obviously the information in it, right?
yeah, and this is the place where you're not going to be able to get past without uploading something, right?
Okay.
So I can,
I think you sent me something too. Whoops, I don't want you to see that. That's
I'm not looking.
you sent me something. Is that the Skywood or the,
Woodside Hills. Do you want me to send it to you again, Patty? I have it right here.
You've got the WPV-Ready site open. So just go to that tab, go down to learn, organize, Firewise. Boom. And on that page, down here, you're going to find, and keep going, you'll find it. Here. That's the one you're pointing at. There is basically it. That's the 3-year plan used.
the Woodside Hills community thing here?
Yep. Don't change any of the names of the headers. You can change the year as appropriate, and you can change the individual items on it, but don't change the titles of any of the sections or anything, and they're happy with it. They're so overwhelmed. You know, a couple of years ago, there was, I think, nothing in Santa Cruz County. I think the next Firewise community from PV Ranch was down in Morgan Hill. And now there's something like 42, 43 Firewise communities in Santa Clara and Santa Cruz counties. So they've just been going nuts down there, especially since the CZU fire happened. But yeah, so this I basically took what they had and just copied the whole thing. So year 1 might be 2023 for you, etc. But don't change education and outreach goals. That's going to, and you can take some of the crap off of the top. Just say this was cloned from the Woodside Hills. Yeah, this is.
Okay, so I would just I changed it. I basically clone this.
Yep, massage it to fit your community and let her fly. Now, also on here.
Then I would upload it there, and then there's something after that, but
No, that's the assessment form. That's that other one you were just looking at.
yeah, no, I know. Yeah.
The 3-year plan comes on like the next page of the page.
Oh, okay, okay.
They're actually separate things. And
So does this application have to be filled out first and then I go to Dawn, or what's the sequence of things?
well, here's the thing. If you want to get on with filling in the rest of your data, you can just download that one that you got here, their assessment document. I don't remember which one it was. Not that one, but there.
Not that one. Oh, the other one, yeah, I know.
I think you had it open too.
This one?
No. The Firewise USA area assessment, the community assessment.
Oh, where was that?
That's the one that Dawn has to input some stuff on and all that thing. Here, you can go there and go back.
Okay, I know I've got it somewhere. I just don't know where. Okay, all right, that one, okay.
Anyhow, download that, start filling it out and upload it here. And then you can get on with the rest of the form. And you can come back and change this. And until you've submitted the whole form, they don't really look at it. So you can just
Okay.
upload.
But I can also, should I also in parallel be sending out the letter to all Westridge residents saying, hey, this is where we're starting.
Yeah.
You should start to register. You should start your self-assessments.
Definitely.
I can do that in parallel.
Yeah. I'm just telling you how to get past this page.
Okay. Okay.
In other words, you don't have to have that assessment document finalized in order to upload something here and get moving on it.
So I don't have to have this thing filled out.
Okay, so yeah, that is what you could just save that locally and upload it now with no changes and get past that page.
Oh, so that's what goes in.
Back to, yeah,
That's what goes in.
next page.
That's what goes in here.
Yes.
Okay, so that assessment form goes in there.
Yes.
I don't have to have it 100%.
No.
Then I go continue.
Yeah.
Then I get that other plan.
You need to put Woodside Fire Protection District up there too, by the way, as the part of that page. The name of the agency, that's the Woodside Fire Protection District. Don't worry about it until you're ready to upload.
Yeah. So I upload that file, I can continue, then I upload that other file,
Yep.
and then does something, and then, okay. All right, okay, I just need to think through this so I make sure I understand what I'm doing, and then send out the letter in parallel. Okay.
Yep. If you go back one more time to that WPV-Ready page. We were on the Firewise, learn, organize, Firewise. And down here, you scroll down a little bit more, right in here. Oh, dang it, go up. Sorry, I skipped past it. It's up further. Here we go. There are the Firewise application details. I basically went through the whole application and just copied down everything they ask you for. Right? So
And what did you use this for?
This is every page in the application, just outlined.
Oh, okay.
So if you go back up to the top, you got your risk assessment.
Mm-hmm.
That's that form. And then the next page you're going to get to is who's on your board committee. Then you enter your people. What's your 3-year action plan? You upload that. What educational outreach have you done? And you just check all of those that apply. You've already done tons of this just because you've got Jennifer's committee and you've got the
Yep.
You know, you got Selena and etc. So, and then you get into vegetation removal. How much stuff have you taken out? Risk reduction investment. This is the $28.54 per home that they want to see that you spend. And the form breaks it down by dwelling unit, landscaping, common area, etc. They don't really care how you fill that out. And if it just so happens that everything came out of landscaping, that's just fine. Don't get nervous about any part of this, as long as you're hitting the marks. What you're getting back is numbers that you can use to manage going forward, right? Build a community working as a team. There you see though, if you do get the chipper costs, they're broken down by various things: other equipment costs, contractor costs, home improvement, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
So we have 350 homes, and I had 2 receipts for trees that were taken out, and that met it. And then, we've got the town's got this matching fund, Woodside does. And I asked our town manager for, like, can you give me just the total for what was approved in Woodside Hills? And he came back with something like 20 times our minimum requirement, just in projects that the town knew about. So there's absolutely, people worry about that one a lot. That's not the one you got to worry about.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about it at all. I mean, I'm actually more worried about getting started.
Yeah, well, like I say, man, you download the community assessment form there, and just start filling it in. It's a PDF. You can fill stuff in on it. You've got the map.
I've got the map somewhere. Yeah. Okay.
And then you get back together with me whenever you get stumped on anything.
I will. Okay. I do have to run, but okay, this is helpful. This gets me started. I think what I'll do is I'll jump on this tomorrow. If I have any questions, I'll reach out to you.
Good.
Like get the application going, and then get the message out to homeowners to start doing their self-assessments.
Absolutely. And what I did with people around me is I just said, hey, you can even just call me up if you want to talk about it, and I'll walk you through it, and we'll discuss each one of these things. You don't have to learn a thing.
Well, I'd like to be able to learn, because I'd like to be able then to, be a resource to help other people as well. So
Exactly. And that's kind of a big part of this Firewise page that's on the WPV-Ready site is I've been trying to pull together all these resources so that it's just kind of laid out in one simple list of stuff. And trying to figure this out for the first time from the Firewise site, and et cetera, was a real pain in the neck. And I went through like 3 submissions, and they kept coming back with, no, it's too much. I had put together like a 20-page analysis of the area, and all they wanted was that assessment filled out. Literally all they could handle was filling out that assessment.
okay. Okay, this is helpful.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
I know how to kind of get started, but if I have questions, I'll reach out, and then Jennifer, I'll let you know where I am.
But we're going to talk on Wednesday for an hour.
Yeah, you're going to send me a Zoom, right? You haven't sent me a
Yes,
Zoom.
I am. I know, and we'll just talk about where we want to go in the next few weeks and months, and
Yeah,
certainly
and how I can help you. How I can help you at the fair too.
Well, actually, it's more like, how can we get Westridge to the fair?
Oh, that
That
won't
is
be.
a gold mine for your residents if they're starting to get interested in defensible space.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons I want to get started. I want to have something kind of concrete by the time the fair rolls around.
Yeah, we'll do that. I'm looking forward to it Wednesday, and I'm sorry I have to cut the meeting short, but I had to grab time with Jeremy.
No, I agree. I have to run too. So
Okay.
Okay, this is
Bye.
very helpful.
Thank you, Chip.
Thank you, Chip.
Yeah, and hey,
Yeah.
I'll send you guys some stuff about the Ready committee and so forth. And
I will spread it around because I'm talking to people.
yeah, just see what pops up.
Although I can't get anyone to join my committee, Chip, so good luck because I must have asked 50 people.
If you suddenly run into a street full of people with nothing to do and a lot of energy, you let me know.
Yeah,
I'm there in heart and soul, Jennifer, just not in person.
I know. Well, we'll get you there sooner or later.
All right, thanks, everybody. Good
Bye-bye.
night.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.